what I call the island effect is you put yourself in a position where you take a risk in your early 20s and you have no one to turn to, and you have to lean on yourself and just figure it out when all the noise quieted down. And that's when I started to self-doubt. Curiosity is your biggest opportunity. You should pursue things that you're curious in with no guardrails. If you're interested in something, dive into it, and dive into it until your interest or that curiosity that you had in the beginning is fulfilled.
Before we get into this next episode, I want to give you some context about my guest. Anthony Lazzaro is the co-founder of the Friends Studio, which is an experiential marketing and creative studio that is based in Los Angeles, and they are the masterminds behind some very impressive brand experiences. Can you explain what you do and how you started?
Yeah, so we focus on design and fabrication. So we're an in-house production team helping with pop-up activations, retail activation, build-outs. We'll do stage designs for musicians, public art installations. So anything from a design on the brand side, product side, to 3D immersive worlds, we'll design and we'll build out.
How'd you get into that?
I learned what experiential marketing was when I was 18. I was working for Red Bull. So it was my first job in college. And I didn't even know how to pronounce the word at the time, let alone know what it meant. And we did all these experiential activations, and they're kind of like stunts that we'd pull from a library online, and we got to choose what we wanted, when we wanted to do it, and Red Bull provided all the resources. So an example of that was we did this Red Bull helicopter drop. And they gave us these images. This is early 2010s. Okay. So Twitter was really big at the time. They gave us these images of a helicopter and videos of a helicopter flying with this huge Red Bull crate under it. And then they shipped me a crate that was broken. It was, like purposely broken. Mm-hmm. And a parachute, massive parachute that could have dropped from a helicopter. So I unpackaged it. I had to go hide it at 3 a.m. somewhere on campus strategically. So I put it by the library. And there's hundreds of cans of Red Bull that I had to unpack and make it look like this case just landed and the case broke open and it was a bunch of Red Bulls. Mm-hmm. And then what I did is I worked with a couple of campus opinion leaders at the time, gave them these images and these videos of this helicopter flying. And then I worked with a couple other campus opinion leaders at the time to then tell them where it was, to them have them go and generate user content. So the combination of that going triggered this event early morning during exam week of all these students going and trying to find it, talking about it on Twitter, working together, finding it, and then all making this content and having this experience. And I was 100 yards away watching it all happen, and nobody knew that I did it. And for me, that was this profound experience where I'm like, I want to do this the rest of my life. And I went a roundabout way of now finally being able to do that later on in my career. But it's just something I've always wanted to do. And then I found my business partner, AJ Lendo, who has a background in fabrication and design. So it's the perfect combination to be able to get it started.
I know you're super humble and you don't lead with like your resume stuff, but can you talk a little bit about the companies that you've worked with and artists that like you're, I don't know, just...
In this current company or previous?
I don't know, just everything.
Okay. Yeah. So a non-traditional route, a non-linear route than what people may have think I took or what people think someone should take. And it was all defined by me being curious. And I think that was the best thing ever. And that's like always the advice I give someone when they're young or 20 in their 20s is just stay curious and pursue things that you're interested in. So that's what I did. And I dropped out of school. I started a company. I joined a music festival because I created their college tour. And I was curious about that at the time. And then once we sold one company, I went back and I finished school, did another startup there. Then I was done with that, got into healthcare, did a bunch of stuff within healthcare, helped start a fund.
Yeah.
Then got into fringe physics technologies, moved to California to work at a venture studio because I was really interested in that. And then I left that to then start what I have now. So that's the short answer of what I've done in the past. Clients that we've worked with in the past, and we work with a lot of artists. We have a management company as well. And so we touch a lot of projects because of what those clients are bringing in. So fashion brands like Nemeas, Kids of Immigrants, GV Gallery. We work with musicians of all sorts, helping them build stages. We work with sports teams, athletes, kind of a really mixed bag of different types of clients.
You came from like a really small town in Michigan, and can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I loved my childhood. Like growing up in a small town, I graduated with 100 kids, Sanford, Michigan, which only people from around the Sanford area have probably ever heard of. But some of my best friends still to this day are there. And it was a small little bubble and pocket. I didn't travel. I didn't vacation as a kid. I was focused on the social aspect of what high school had to offer, and then sports. And then I grew up skateboarding.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of in my hometown area. And then I went to Central Michigan University for undergrad. And to me, that was the biggest place in the world. Like I didn't even go to Detroit yet.
That's crazy.
Until that point. And when I went there, people looked different. They had different backgrounds. They had different interests. They had different perspectives. They spoke different languages. They were wearing different types of clothing. And for me, I was just really, really interested in learning other people's story and perspective. And I think that curiosity drove me to then kind of ascend into all the things that I've done.
You said that you had a lot of freedom as a kid because your parents were working a lot, and skating became a big part of your life.
Yeah.
How do you think that like influenced your thinking and your mindset on things as an adult?
It was the most profound thing I've ever done, or like the biggest impact I've ever had was probably skateboarding in my life. Yeah.
Okay, how?
And you don't realize it at the time, but my parents were split, and they worked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And skateboarding was this thing that was accessible. I could do by myself. I could do with friends. I could do it at my dad's house, my mom's house, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But now looking back on it, I've realized the impact I had at the time. It was just something I loved doing and was obsessed with for many years. But I think it teaches you something about commitment.
Yeah.
And you skate, so you know all these things.
I do. I'm probably not as good as you were. Like, I'm not doing like ollies or I try to do an ollie, but it's, oh my God, I've spent hours trying to just get a little bit off the ground with a skateboard, and
that's better than most
people. You get
people.
Obsessed though. You're like, I have to.
Yeah, and it's just you're very present when you're doing it. So I think that was one thing.
You have to be, or else you're gonna eat shit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It taught me concentration. You have to be focused. You have to be very present when you're going out for a trick. I mean, the adrenaline rush that you got, it was like a drug. Mm-hmm. And so, you're always just seeking that and chasing that. Commitment, you have to commit. You can't half commit when you're going down a stair set or onto a handrail. You have to move fast. You have to be fully committed to something, and you have to be willing to take the hit at the end. And I think that transcends to a lot of different things in life. I think it also taught me how to like perspective and imagination, because now, still to this day, I mean, I push around and skate. I'm not what I was by any means, but the mindset never changed. I go into a city, I go into a new spot, I'm always looking at every hubba, handrail, staircase, everything that wasn't made to be skated. I look at how can it be skated.
Yes.
And I think that translate into a lot of aspects of design and also problem solving. And then style. Everyone had different styles, and there's so many different styles throughout the years I was skating. Music as well, because everyone had their own taste. You were really listening to what got you in that zone at the time.
Yeah.
And I think everyone just was very specific about their style, the sound they're listening to. And for me, that opened up my eyes into art and design and music and style and committing and like all these life skills. I could keep going on, but that's why I think skating had probably the biggest impact out of anything I did.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a very gritty sport, and it's tough. And like, it takes balls to skate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody was at my high school, the small like farm town.
Yeah.
No one was skating for the longest time. It was just me.
Were skaters lame? Because I feel like I've heard in like the Midwestish, it's like, oh, you're lame because you're a skater. Like that's...
I mean, I think because our school is so small, there wasn't really cliques. I mean, there probably was, but I just never looked at it that way. I was friends with every friend group.
Yeah.
And I skated, and people were like, cool. Like, I'm definitely never doing that, but that's cool. And then, then it became cool, and then everyone started to do it. And for me, some people were like, oh, these are posers or whatever. And I was just like, yo, I got an extra board. You want one? I got an extra pair of shoes. Like, I was just trying to get everybody into it.
Skate.
Yeah, because I got so much from it and made so many friends and learned so much from it. And like, I just loved it. So
yeah, I totally get the love for skateboarding.
Yeah, I wanted everyone to do it.
My family was like, what are you doing? doing? You're 27 years old. Like, please calm down. Okay, when we met to talk about this podcast, something I noticed when you told me your story was that you were like, I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this. You like kind of skipped over the hardships of it.
Yeah. There's those.
So, and I feel like a lot of the time when people are working on something, they're like, oh, it must have been easy for that person because they don't know what other people went through. And I even have that sometimes. I'm a loser because it's not easy for me right now. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about part of the journey that people don't see that's challenging.
For sure.
Or something that was challenging.
Different phases. I think I can talk about what I call the island effect.
Mm-hmm.
So my early 20s, I dropped out of college, made the decision to drop out of school and pursue my first startup. And it was fun. It was exciting. I did a bunch of stuff while I did that. But once I did that, I was really optimistic and very naive, which I'm glad I was, because if I wasn't naive, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Right.
And it would have ended up being one of my biggest regrets. So I did do it. You're surrounded by friends that are your support group, your cheerleaders. They're also as naive as you and optimistic as you for the most part. They think you're going to be the next X person and, go on to do whatever you want and be successful and rich and all those things. And so because of that, I was like pretty naive. I was like, I got this.
Delusion's the best thing ever.
And definitely a little delusional as well. I'd say probably 4 months, 5 months into that journey is when all the noise quieted down, meaning like all this excitement.
4 or 5 months after you started, when you were like
after I dropped out of school. Yeah. So then the noise settled down, and that's when I started the self-doubt. And I started to learn
the noise of everyone questioning what you were doing.
No, all positive noise, like good noise.
Oh, okay.
Good noise.
So
like,
no more cheerleaders. It's
no more
just
cheerleaders. Everyone's like back in college still, like going to the tailgates, doing the parties, and kind of in that world. And I'm in a different city every day, and going from closing out a festival show to then going to a hotel room and working on the startup overnight, and then getting up and going to the next city. And I started to be able to not relate to anybody. Mm-hmm. So I'd call my friends back in college or back home or whatever it may be. And I was like, I can't explain everything that I just did. And they won't understand. Yeah. But I think the bigger thing is, when I say it gets kind of lonely, is no one around you is doing the same thing. And so you don't have anyone to turn to for inspiration or a second opinion or anything of that sort. You just have to figure it out. And I think that's what the hard part is about, what I call the island effect, is you put yourself in a position where you take a risk in your early 20s and you have no one to turn to, and you have to lean on yourself and just figure it out and make a lot of decisions really quickly that have a compound effect. Now, I did get lucky. One of my best friends still to this day, Thomas, he was my business partner for all these endeavors. And so I'd had one person that was, in the same boat as me, that I could bounce stuff off of. Most people don't have that.
Yeah.
He's also, I joke and say he was my lockbox, because things happen so fast. And he was the one, I would set a vision out of, okay, cool, here's what we're going to do. He would then go and help execute it. And so because of that, he was a very good listener, he's very observant, and he's very organized, and he paid attention better than I did. And so all these memories and all these things that happened, he remembers vividly. And he'll still to this day call me like, do you remember this, and this? I'm like, I have no idea. And then he'll explain it. So I think I got really lucky having somebody like that. Most people don't. And this island effect it's interesting, because people I talk to now that went on to do crazy things or have also a cool story, there's one common thread typically, and it's they took some chance when they were 20 and put themselves on an island. Mm-hmm. So it's always very interesting to me.
Yeah. What mindset did you have to keep going when no one around you could really relate to what you're doing?
I was just very curious. Mm-hmm. I think curiosity is your biggest opportunity. And for me, I couldn't shake the fact of going to the next thing and doing the next thing, because I saw it working, and the feedback I was getting from other people that I didn't know, other than my friends who were my biggest cheerleaders, but strangers and other people were positive and affirmative. Mm-hmm. And we saw the momentum, we saw the revenue climbing, we saw it working, and to me it was addicting. And I was like, oh, this is actually going to work, and I sacrificed everything to do this. So there was never a doubt if I was going to continue on. I wrote it till the very end.
That's most people are not like that.
Yeah. It's hard to find those opportunities, and it's hard to like get into that flow state, and it's hard to find something you're that passionate about. You know, I
Yeah.
just got really lucky when I was young.
I think it's funny when people say they're lucky. I feel like you're not lucky, you're like creating it as you go. And like when hard things come up, you like the people who survive have a different mindset about handling issues and things. They're not like wallowing like you don't identify with like the bad, I don't know, bad things that happen that obviously come up when you're like doing all these crazy things.
Yeah, that's true.
So I
That's
think
true. I try to block that
it's
stuff out.
definitely like, I don't know. I think it's like a mindset thing and a character thing, and it's good to have. And I had to build it for myself. Like I didn't come. I think I was pretty negative when I was younger, and then I had to like teach myself can't do that because we're not going to be very successful if we're being
It's good
negative.
that we figure those lessons out early in our life.
Yeah.
You know, instead of later on.
Betting on yourself. I know you took a big financial risk to build the business you have now, right? Yeah. What was that? And can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. I have always wanted to do this. And once my business partner and I started the company, we didn't want to compromise the integrity of what we were trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning we didn't want to take jobs that really didn't align with us, weren't the direction we wanted to head, weren't the type of clients we wanted in terms of like the people and their values and things like that.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to take any shortcuts, or we didn't want to take any quick cash, because it's a really bad way to start out. So you have to make a lot of sacrifices. You know, we're living in Los Angeles. It's expensive. We have a studio. We have overhead.
Right.
And we're doing projects, and we're doing the right projects, but we also have our own overheads, and, you know, we were just kind of getting by. And so in a good way. And so it took on a lot of debt. Yeah. Like leveraged myself as much as I could to stay patient, to make the right decisions within the business and do it in the right way.
Yeah.
And over the course of, I'd say like the first 2.5 years of our business, it was accumulating debt over time.
Was it a lot?
Personal debt. I took on $246,000 of debt. So
that's,
yeah. You know, relative to someone's perspective, for me, it was a lot.
Yeah.
I knew I could do it.
Yeah.
It wasn't ideal.
Yeah.
And I had to figure it out along the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a plan, and I kept a drawdown. So I did it in the most responsible way, even though it's a crazy risk. I did it in the most responsible way I could. But I believed in my business partner. I believed that experiential marketing was going to become what we're seeing it to become now today. This was 4 years ago, and what I think it will be over the next 5 to 10 years. So for me, it takes me a while to make a decision. But once I make a decision, I'm fully committed.
Yeah.
And so I knew there was no other option. I mean, I got offered an opportunity full-time working for someone else to come in as the CEO of this organization.
Mm-hmm.
And they offered me $330,000 as a salary plus bonuses. And I was very, very confident in this role. And I said no without hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when I was at the peak of my debt. Over 2 years ago. And that's when I knew, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I don't care what the opportunity is. Like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Not that I doubted it.
Yeah.
But the fact that I didn't even think about it and I said no, the next day I was like, oh yeah, cool. This is it.
Yeah, that takes so much self-trust. I start freaking out if I have like $2,000 of credit card debt.
That's good. You should.
And I'm like, we need to pay this off immediately, or else I'm going to lose my mind.
That's a very responsible thing to do.
No,
I'm not recommending anyone take on.
No, I think it's really cool that you bet on yourself. Would you say that you were following your intuition? Like you just always just followed your intuition?
Yeah, and curiosity.
Did anybody teach you to follow your intuition, or did you just like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought about it. Like, I know that I identified probably, once I dropped out of school and took that chance, it really taught me a lot because I had to learn really quickly on my own, right? And curiosity is what has driven me to like every opportunity that I've had. And pursuing that curiosity led me to having confidence to then be certain that I wanted to.
So you just trust yourself a lot.
Yeah.
And it's something you've had to build over time.
Yeah, it's a muscle for sure.
Yeah.
And doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I think when things don't work out, you look at, okay, what did I learn and what's transferable to the next thing? It doesn't have to be, again, this linear path. you can jump to the next thing you're curious in, but you're stacking up all of these skill sets and points of context and awareness and relationships that can transcend into the next thing. So I think it's, it's definitely a journey. It's not a straight line. It's a journey in some way, but some people get so caught up on what other people are going to think. And it was like they had this chapter that was their whole personality and their whole identity. It's like, well, you created that at some point. You can create another one.
Yeah.
Like just have the through line of being the same type of person and treating people well and being honest with people and communicating with people and trying to do the right thing. And if not that those are easy things to do, but if you can do that, then people are going to want to ride and support no matter what you're doing.
Yeah. Was there like a time where you had to like make that shift? Like I don't know.
To where I wasn't trustworthy and a bad communicator?
No. Like just like when shit hits the fan, has hit the fan before, and you're like, oh, I have to.
It hits the fan a lot, like still to this day. I mean, it hit the fan.
Yeah.
It hit the fan earlier today, and it hit the fan a couple of days ago. But and it's always going to. If it doesn't, it means you're probably not trying hard enough.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay.
Now there's different types.
Things are going smoothly. Things are actually going terribly.
Well, I'm comfortable in the
discomfort.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like the uncertain. I think if you're a creator and you're trying to create, you're always trying to push for what's next and you're trying to take risks. And I think you're trying to pursue things you're curious about.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no path. There's no flight plan of like, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And if there was, it's just not something I'm interested in doing because I'm not that curious in it, So for me, those kind of things, as long as you can, when it hits a fan, as long as you can communicate to whether it's like your business partner, other people that it might affect in real time and be honest with them and upfront, most of the time it's going to work out.
Yeah.
As long as you didn't have ill intent going into it.
Right. When we first met to talk about the podcast, you asked me who I wanted to be in 10 years. And I think that's a really powerful question. Why do you ask people that question? And yeah, what are you listening for? I'm
listening to who they aspire to be and who they know they are in the future. I think every single person has this vision of something, like we're on this journey and there's not necessarily everyone's thinking of an end, but they are, in 5 years, I'm going to be this. In 10 years, I'm going to be this. And it doesn't have to do with their career always. It can be, how are they spending their personal time? Do they want a family? Where do they want to live? What do they want to be working on? What are they really interested in? Most of the time, people get caught up judging other people based off of what their current identity is at the time. And I don't believe in that. I believe in you should get to know that person and understand what their values are, what they believe in, why they're doing something, and where they want to head.
Yeah.
And from there, you can kind of form your own opinion on how you see that person 10 years from now. And you should just treat them that way. Treat them as if they are that, because eventually they're going to become that.
That's really sweet. Yeah. And then when we were also talking, it was cool to me that like you've worked with like really big artists, but you seem mostly excited about the ones that are up and coming that you work with that aren't as established yet. Why is that so important to you? Yeah.
People ask me about like my favorite project, like artists that I want to work with or athletes I want to work with. Like, I already have the people I want to work with.
Yeah.
Like on the management side of our business, we have a brand called Kids of Immigrants that's been around now for 10 years. We have a designer, his name's Anthony Hart. And then we have a painter and sculptor whose name is Troy. He goes by TYP Collection. And we look up to all these people. We respect them. We think their craft is some of the best in the world in their own regards and respects. And we just enjoy being around them. Like we look up to them. And so I think if you can be around people that you respect, you look up to, and you're inspired by every single day, then it's like, you're pretty fulfilled at the end of the day. And when stuff hits the fan, you just talk about it and you figure it out because you have this common thread of like you're all going in the same direction. So for me, I'm really interested in building with existing people. Of course, we have the client service side where we're building with brands and other artists and things of that sort.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to grow our management business. We've actually shrunk it down. We had 7 clients at one time and now we have 3 intentionally because they're growing and we want to be able to be there with them every step of the way because it's fun and interesting.
I wanted to ask you more about these up and coming artists. Are they having like the big picture? Or are you like showing them the big picture?
Well, we can talk about the 3 we're working with now.
Yeah.
They all believe in themselves and they all have confidence.
Right.
They all know who they are and what they have, which is a really hard thing to have.
Yes.
Right.
Agreed.
And that's a huge deal for us. they might not know the path to get there.
Right.
And they might not know how to navigate stuff in real time.
Yeah.
But we work and understand what are they really good at and what are they really interested in doing and what do they hate doing. And also what needs attention yesterday. So that's how we'll jump in, and because we have a very non-traditional management, in terms of our services.
Mm-hmm.
Our model is very non-traditional.
How?
Well, we take care of back office management stuff. So accounting, finance, tax, legal.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second layer above that, what we do is we help with strategy, product strategy, growth strategy, people strategy, marketing strategy, and sometimes creative strategy. So, and then the layer above that is we're an advisor to them and for their teams.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working day to day with either the founders of the streetwear brand or, with the artists directly. And the artists directly have studio assistants, designers under them, things of that sort. But we help them navigate on the way up, right? Things are coming in. We're putting out efforts, events, like schedules, all of these opportunities, and brands are coming to them, and they have their own stuff and they're hiring people. So where do they spend their time? How do they spend their time? And how can we best support them? So we're actually hands-on. We're looking at we're building a strategy. We're putting the right people in place to do so. We're looking at the foundation to make it all work. And we're identifying where the gaps are in those foundations. And we'll actually go in and repair the foundation and actually build those things out. And then once we build them out, we'll operate them. They're at the point where we can hand them off to someone on their team or bring someone else to do it. Mm-hmm. Then we replace ourselves. So for us, we're building with them and we're replacing ourselves with responsibilities as fast as we can.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to hold on to it and charge them more money and do those kind of things, because we ultimately want to help them continue to rise up.
Yeah. So do you think you enjoy this so much because you're helping people achieve their dreams? Is that your dream, is to help people achieve their dreams?
I think so. Coming from the small town, and I'd never pictured being able to work with the type of people that I work with and being in the type of environments that I'm in. Mm-hmm. So I think everything else is just a cherry on top for me. There's a lot that I want to do. Yeah. But I didn't even know any of this stuff existed. Yeah. Like the types of people that I'm working with, the types of things I'm working on. I mean, a lot of the stuff we are working on from a technology perspective didn't exist when I was, didn't exist 10 years ago. Yeah. And so for me, I look at it as, I guess it's helping people that I really believe in their vision see that through is really self-fulfilling, selfishly for me.
I don't think that's selfish,
but yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of things that I want to do. And I think a big part of that is helping service others. And, it's like we're opening up. I'll just give one example. Like Kids of Immigrants, they've been around for 10 years. They're getting a store for the first time this year.
Wow.
And
in LA?
Yeah, in Melrose Hill, opening up in June.
Cool.
So soon. And seeing the two co-founders was incredible. So Daniel and Wella are the two co-founders, and seeing them get the keys and open that door up after everything was said and sealed and done was a really, really cool moment.
Did you film it?
Yeah. Javi filmed it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I forget where I was. I wasn't there for this moment, but when the video that they shot came through, it made me really happy.
Just got the keys. This is a big moment for me, for us. We put our keychain on it. Now it's a dream come true. Let's check it out.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry, no. Sorry, guys, I didn't cry. But I got emotional, for them. I don't own the company. I don't own any part of the company. Yeah. And I don't own the store. It's not my thing. We're there to help support them, the thing that they've been building for the last decade, and their team. Yeah. So just seeing moments like that and being able to be a big part of that happening, finding the store, helping with the negotiations, coming up with the budget, finding the funding, doing all those things behind the scenes for that moment makes it all worth it.
Right. And Kids of Immigrants, where do they come from? What are their
backgrounds?
Yeah.
So Daniel's family is from Honduras and Wella's family is from Liberia. And Wella grew up in Sacramento, went to art school up in San Francisco. Daniel grew up in Bushwick, in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And then they actually met on tour with Kehlani, and that's where they started the brand. Bunch of other backstories, to them and their journey to get here, but really authentic, original story of two kids at the time. Not that they're old, but two kids at the time that were really naive and curious and did something about it and just started to put work out.
Yeah.
And to me, that's always the core of it is, they put themselves on the island, in their own way, and just seeing what that's turned into is really cool.
Since you ask everybody else, who do you want to be in 10 years?
So my two biggest goals in life are to be a good dad and a good husband.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to be, day in the life is like I wake up before everyone else does, get a workout in, come home, eat breakfast with my family, or like take the kids to school or do something family related. Walk into office, studio, people. It doesn't have to be a lot of people. Hopefully it's not a ton of people in the company, but they're all working on something that they're curious about, they're passionate about, and really they're working on something that doesn't exist today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working on maybe 2 or 3 things that only I could work on while everyone else is keeping everything flowing and going.
Yeah.
And then lunch, I'd want to go and grab lunch with somebody that I'm either learning from or helping.
Mm-hmm.
And so meaningful time there. And then at night would be, family time.
Chilling. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 10 years working on stuff that doesn't exist today, spending time with people I care about, and spending quality time with people. So spending quality time with my team, spending quality time with my friends, spending quality time with my family.
Yeah.
Not like distracted time.
Yeah. I want to backtrack a little bit. Was there a time when you were like, this is way bigger than I thought it was going to be?
The current one?
Yeah.
Yeah. My intention actually was for this just to be a creative outlet and a side project.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I thought
Really?
I'd have to like go and get a job or join another startup. Yeah. I just always wanted to do it since I was 18. And so
you always wanted to have an experiential.
Yeah. Ever since that Red Bull moment when I was 18.
It's crazy that you even knew what that was because I didn't even know.
I
it
didn't.
Was a job.
I didn't until, longer story how I got into the role as a freshman. But yeah, that to me was like, this is what I want to do. And it was the first time I was really certain about something. So there's a lot of companies. We live in Los Angeles. There's a lot of experiential marketing companies. There's going to be even more as the category grows, right? And there's a lot of really good ones, like legacy companies that have 50 employees and are doing tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. And like, how do you even win a contract over someone that they've been working with for 20 years? How do you even work with someone like Nike eventually?
Yeah.
What does that look like? And so that's why I was under the impression, okay, this will just be a little side project.
Yeah,
I need
like
a creative
hobby.
outlet.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do this, so I got to start doing it some way, somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started talking to my now business partner, AJ, him and an artist, two of the artists we manage, Troy or TYP and Anthony Hart, they're going to start a fabrication studio together. I was still working at a venture studio.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I wanted to start this, I started telling them about it, and they're all busy, and the two artists were progressing in their own art careers. But AJ still wanted to do the fabrication studio. And when I was thinking experiential marketing company, I was thinking like brand strategy, design, and kind of being the agency that would have to hire out a fabrication studio.
Yeah.
And he was just like, well, why don't we just do, like, they're not doing it. Why don't we just do it together? And why don't we combine this and be a full service production company? I was like, okay, cool. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, two of us still going to be a creative outlet now for not only me, but also for AJ. And then we got our first job from a notable brand, and we had to start an LLC because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't think of another name. I was like, we could use friend of a friend as a working title, and we just haven't changed it. And, we're almost 4 years in now, and
that's such a funny name.
we get to do it full time still. So yeah, it's been a cool blessing. And, there's obviously been some sacrifice to get there, but it didn't take us very long to realize, oh, we can actually do this full time. Like, let's make a run at it, because now I had somebody that I could bounce stuff off of, and he had a bunch of really good ideas and approaches and positioning. And we just started really flowing back and forth off of one another, and it built the confidence to be like, okay, cool, let's. So
there wasn't like one project in particular that you were like, whoa, this is like big deal.
Oh yeah, a lot of them. Like, yeah. I mean, so So how we decide if we want to take a job or not.
Yeah.
I was saying earlier, we don't like to take shortcuts. We don't like to take jobs that really aren't aligned. So aligned for us is really two things. One, we like to do things that haven't been done before.
Mhm.
And two, it has to pose a creative challenge for us. And really tough business model, like not a great business model in the beginning. And once you get going, fantastic business model. But it's not a good business model in the beginning because you're doing things that haven't been done before. So if you haven't done it, no one else knows how to do it. How are you properly going to budget that?
Yeah.
How are you going to present a timeline? And it's hard. And luckily, we have a lot of really talented people around us. So we're able to figure those things out. And so because of that, to answer your question, a lot of the projects we do take on, we just sit there and ask ourselves, how are we going to do this? Like, it's one thing to come up with a plan. It's another thing to be able to actually have the engineering capabilities and solves to pull it off. So yeah, a lot of late nights, well, a lot of all-nighters, a lot of like cross-country U-Haul box truck drives. And
you're doing these?
Yeah, I mean, there's not many of us. Like, we're doing all things. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then if I'm in the shop building, then it's really bad. Well, it's not bad, but it's, I find myself in there every once in a while, and less now I'm having to do that because we're developing. But yeah, my business partner, AJ, runs the production side of our company, and then I'm usually running like the ops and the business development side, and then a lot on the management side as well.
Cool.
Yeah. But I like to go to the studio. It's fun.
Yeah. Where is it again?
It's in Vernon.
So, I don't know where that is.
Vernon, southeast of the Arts District in LA, like 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm imagining easels everywhere and just art and...
No, it's like...
You're like, no, it's like chainsaws and knives to cut the wood and...
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I think, Vernon's an interesting place. It's 100% industrial. So you go into the city where there's no houses or commercial businesses, and it's just warehouses.
Yeah.
And just streets and streets and streets of warehouses, and then we're one of them in the middle.
Do you make art? I don't even know if you make art. I haven't asked
Me
you.
personally?
Yeah. Like drawing, I don't know.
Yeah. As a kid, I grew up drawing. I wanted to be an architect. So I wanted to design houses. I was really inspired by this architect named Alden B. Dow, who was a architect based in Midland, Michigan, which was right next to me. And he used this white brick, which was inspired by Japanese architecture. And so I was really like Japanese architecture and like mid-century modern houses. That was the era that he was designing in. Public buildings, residences, all that. And then I wanted to also design cars. And so I draw cars, houses, and then skateboarding scenes. Like I'd try and recreate out of the Trans World magazines. I'd try and recreate images, but then put my own twist on them. And so I drew a lot as a kid.
Okay. Have you drawn anything that we've we've seen in no?
Probably not. I usually now, because I'm surrounded by so many talented artists,
you handle that.
I have to handle the spreadsheets, which is okay. Because the work that they're putting out is incredible. And I mean, I have my own creative outlets, but it doesn't have anything to do with the business. I'll sometimes, I will sometimes put some design together and references together to try and communicate ideas to get over to our designers or my business partner, AJ, for the design process when I'm talking with a new client. And AJ likes to give me a hard time and laugh, and he's like, dude, give me the file, give me this. But no, we have a good relationship. He's a talented designer. Anthony Hart is very talented, and then
he's the one who did the stained glass Lamborghini.
Ferrari, yeah.
Ferrari.
Yeah, he was a designer behind that. That was a really crazy project. A good example of, can we do this?
Yeah.
And figure it out along the way. And not only did we figure it out along the way, he continued in the process to beef it up. Like,
I don't know if this is a stupid question, but was it an actual car? Like, was there an end? No, it was like you create. Okay,
it's sculpture, but it looks like a car because it's to the exact specifications.
Size,
Yep, exactly. So it started off as aluminum framing. It started with nothing.
Yeah.
And then built a frame, and then from there did the whole thing piece by piece.
Could you roll it in?
Yep.
You could.
Yeah, it could steer as well.
Where is it now?
It's at our studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
One of the craziest things I've ever seen. And I think they did it in 3.5 weeks. I was involved in the project for the last week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a small team of us, and it was just around the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then we drove it in a U-Haul to Miami.
Yeah.
So I drove it.
I'd be terrified. I'd be like, if this cracks, I'm going to...
Oh, for sure. But our back was up against the wall. I forget how many hours. I drove 28 hours straight from LA to Houston airport. My business partner, AJ, took a morning flight.
Mm-hmm.
So he did an all-nighter with the team, slept he was supposed to sleep for 10 hours, but couldn't. So he only slept for 4.
Yeah.
Flew to Houston. I pulled up in the U-Haul. He came off the airplane into the U-Haul. I went into the airport. He drove to Miami, and then I went on calls and then met him in Miami. I don't know how, the drive was one thing, but
if one
the
little
rest of the
thing
team
went wrong.
It was, but it didn't. We didn't miss on anything. So it was really cool. Also, these are incredible bonding experiences. You get these all-nighters back to back all the time, which I'm not recommending, and it takes a special breed of a person to do.
Mm-hmm.
You learn so much about each other, and you have so much patience with each other.
Some people don't.
No, you have to. Right, exactly. That's the thing is somebody will kind of get short or they'll get hungry, and then everyone will just put each other in check.
Yeah.
And then you just keep going and you keep going and you keep going.
Yeah. I feel like everybody asks you about this one, but the Lil Yachty Coachella shit, how'd you think of that? How did that come about?
That was an Anthony Hart design.
Oh, okay. So it was Anthony Hart too.
Anthony Hart is, how do I describe him? I get asked this all the time, and I always have a hard time describing him because of how talented he is. So I think in terms of capabilities creatively, he has the widest range of creative capabilities with the most depth.
Okay.
So there hasn't been, I don't know how long I've known Anthony Hart for. I've probably known him for 6 years now. And I've never come across a problem that he can't solve. Every single time, including this boat.
Including this boat.
The Lil Yachty boat, the dimensions were those dimensions because that's what we could fit in our shop.
Okay. So we would have been bigger if we could.
Maybe. Yeah. But also, it was still pretty big. I think it was, I'm going to get these dimensions wrong. I think it was 18 feet high, maybe 28 feet wide and 42 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
And we had it in 10 sections. So it was like a NASCAR pit stop, Coachella stage. You had it backstage in 10 pieces. Plus we had docking systems. We had oversized life ring buoys that were bigger than this room that were secondary stages for the drum kits and guitars and things like that.
Yeah.
And we had to assemble it. We had 15 minutes to assemble it.
No.
We had 15 minutes to bring it from behind stage.
Were you concerned that if someone tripped or something that they were going to break the whole thing or no?
I didn't even think about anyone tripping because there's so many other things to worry about, but we couldn't really rehearse it.
Yeah.
So for us, we worked with what we could control.
Yeah.
And just tried to communicate as much as possible. And that was another bonding experience. It was really, really cool. That was one of our, if you ask anyone on our team, my business partner, that was one of our favorite projects. The stained glass Ferrari was also one of our favorite projects. Just things that haven't been done before that posed a creative challenge and were unique.
Yeah, that's so cool. Okay, my last question. For the person listening who feels like they're on their own island right now, who knows that there's a bigger life available for them but doesn't have proof yet, what do you want them to know?
I want them to know that curiosity is your biggest opportunity. You should pursue things that you're curious in with no guardrails. If you're interested in something, dive into it. And dive into it until your interest or that curiosity that you had in the beginning is fulfilled. Meaning, if you're curious about a book because of the cover or what a friend recommended, read that book until you fulfill that interest. You don't have to finish the book. Put the book down, go to the next thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing with creative endeavors, whether it's learning how to use a new software, whether it's drawing, sketching, painting, taking a new opportunity, skateboarding, whatever it may be. I think people should pursue their curiosity because it helps gain awareness. I think with gaining awareness, it's almost like you're walking through a new door and you don't know what's on the other side. Once you go through that door and you see what's on the other side, it leads you to all these other things. And And that can lead you to something really fulfilling and promising. And if you wouldn't never walk through that first door, you'd just be in the same spot. And that's cool for some people.
Yeah.
But if you can't get it out of your system, like just go and do it.
Yeah. I think it builds confidence too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember all the little things that I did, just trying so many things, and was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, but everything's like come together, and then like later on you see how it all like contributes to who you are now, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't do all those little things, like acting class, I don't know, or like skateboarding, like it all creates character.
Yeah, I agree.
Or like who you are, and it's just following that, and it takes balls, I think, to look stupid and start to do something new that you like have no idea how to do. And yeah, I've definitely experienced that.
What's something that you're really scared of doing that you really want to do?
I pretty much do all of them, I think. That's tough. I mean, maybe skydiving, but I don't know about that. Pretty scared of heights. I was on a plane last week with no doors, and I was pretty terrified. But I don't know if I'm going to participate in skydiving. I think we'll stick to like skateboarding and all that stuff.
Okay.
Maybe hella skiing.
That'd be cool.
But for the most part, I mean, people like message me and they're like, "Oh, you're so cool," and I'm like, "I'm not cool. I'm just willing to look stupid. Like, I'm not cool."
Take the compliments sometimes.
I will, but yeah, I don't know. I just think cool people are just willing to look dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I do care, but I kind of care, but I also don't care. I'm like, I want to not care so other people don't care.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if you're like being yourself and you're doing what feels right to you, you inspire other people to do the same thing. So
yeah,
I
agree.
Anyways, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you. And yeah, thank you. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Frequency Formula podcast. If you like this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, or send it to someone that you love. I'll see you guys in the next episode.